start in a seated position. So just sit however feels comfortable for you. It doesn't matter which leg is in front, if you're sitting cross-legged, if you're up on a block, just get the flesh of your bum out the back so that you feel that you're really centered on your two sit bones. And again, just placing your hands to your knees. Just take yourself into a little bit of a twist of the spine, just so you can start to find a little bit of release, maybe, especially in the lower back. You might find that you're holding a little bit of tension, maybe through the neck and through the shoulders. And then just come back to the center for a moment. And now I want you to hook your right elbow. I'm going to do a mirror image for you. Hook your right elbow under the left, and then just let your shoulders relax. And you can bring the backs of the hands towards each other. If that's a good stretch, you stay there. If you want to, wrap your hands around, you can. And these are called eagle arms. So it's quite a lovely stretch between the shoulder blades around the neck. And then tuck your chin in very gently so that you're finding a little bit of length up along the back of your neck. And just make sure that you can breathe. You just see here, a little chat coming through. Absolutely. Let me come forward a little bit, or maybe what I can do is just move my camera slightly forward. Can you guys still see me there? All right. And so just holding that stretch through the neck and shoulders for a moment. And then just release. You can stretch your arms out nice and wide, and now do the other side. So now you're gonna have your left elbow under, and just stay there for a moment. Bring the hands towards each other, and if you can, you wrap the hands around, but don't force it, because it can be quite a strong stretch around the neck and around the shoulders. And find a little bit of length along the back of your neck. Keep breathing. And then release. And stretching your arms out nice and wide. And now just taking yourself into your seaweed, just going from side to side. Getting that little bit of lateral movement through your spine. Opening up along the sides of the ribs. And just creating that elasticity through all the muscles that line the rib cage, around your lungs and your heart. And then come back to the center, and then let your hands come all the way down. Close your eyes. Find the energy running up through the crown of your head. Feel the energy running down your spine, anchoring your pelvis and your feet towards the ground. Gentle breaths in and out through the nose. Allowing the area around your eyes to soften and release. Relaxing your jaw, your tongue, your lips. Relaxing through the neck and through the shoulders. Finding some softness around your pelvis and your hips. And just allow yourself a moment to settle into your skin. Allowing your joints to softly fold, to create some space. Allowing your muscles to just gently hug your bones. And then with each breath moving through your body, start to become aware of that expansion and release from the inside moving out. Imagining all the layers of your fascia, your connective tissue, melting, gliding, and finding ease. Turning your inward gaze towards that little point between your brows. Just giving yourself a moment to focus and find clarity. And as we stay here just for another few moments, just observing how you feel. And can you allow that feeling to encompass your physical body and your energetic bodies? Observing yourself as a whole unit, a whole being. Stay connected to your breath. Just allow that internal gaze to soften and release. Just taking a moment to pause, reflect back on the last 15 days of the series. Noticing the journey that you've been on, the process, and how it's registering on your physical body and your energy. We're going to take a nice deep breath in, fill your body, and then as you breathe out from your mouth, just let it all go. Let yourself come back into this present moment, and then blinking your eyes open, we're just going to roll onto all fours. So if you are sitting on a prop, you can just move off to the side, and coming onto your hands and onto your knees, take a moment to spread your fingers out, find a little bit of length through your spine, and then start rounding your spine up towards the sky. So you tuck your tail, lift your belly, push away from your hands and tuck your chin in. And then we start to lengthen the tail out. Reaching the tail up, lift your heart, lift your eye line. Just make sure that your back feels good with the movement. So you're not going to be forcing yourself into any position. And just see if with today's cat stretch, you can think about the journey of your spine as you go from one position to the next. So don't think about here I am rounded spine or here I am extended spine. What is happening in between? And then start to notice the breath that you naturally connect to your movements. And we're going to take just one more time, rounding your spine all the way up. And we're going to stay here just for a moment, tuck your toes under, and then push into your hands and your feet and hover your knees up if you can. So we're staying in a rounded spine position. Keep tucking your chin in, keep lifting your belly. Keep breathing, so you really have to push out of your hands, and taking one more inhale, and then exhale, release the knees, release the feet, and then lengthening your spine all the way out. Now just take one hand, it doesn't matter which one, and turning your fingers so that they're facing backwards as much as possible. And then just allow yourself to come into that wrist release, that carpal tunnel release. And we're just doing single hand today. We'll do the other one in a second. So just let your body shift gently backwards and forwards. And again, don't force it. Just kind of feel it out on that first side. How does it feel? How far can you go? And then bring your body weight forward and pivot your hand around. And now let's do the other side. So turning the fingers to point back. And then if that side feels like it can handle it, you can shift a little bit backwards and forwards. And depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed, or maybe if you have any injuries, you might find that the one side is much tighter than the other. So treat each side individually and notice what that side needs. Taking just a few more. Keep breathing. One more. And release. And now pivot that hand all the way around. And we're going to do a little test run of our downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under, lift your knees up, and then shift back. And let's do a little bit of pedaling of the heels. Getting that release down the back of the legs. And then press the heels down as best you can. See if the legs are straight at the moment or if they're a little bit bent. Notice if your heels are touching or not. And then notice where is this registering for you. Stay here for one more breath in and out. And then releasing your knees all the way down and let your feet stretch out the back. So now take your right leg. Slide it out long. You're going to bring that leg up. You guys know the drill now. You've got to keep your shoulders and your pelvis level. Your bum, the gluteus maximus, and your lower abs have to connect here. Now round your spine and draw your knee to nose. And stretch. Keep moving with your breath. And just like we did with the cat stretch today, can you start to pay a little bit more attention to the journey, to the movement through space, as opposed to thinking just about the end position here. And we're going to take just one more time. And stretch. Now, stay for a moment. You're going to step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Help yourself if you need to. And then walk your hands up onto your knee. Remember, guys, if you need padding underneath your knee, feel free to do so. Got some geese in the background here. And now connect your core, energy through your crown, and just start gently shifting a little bit forwards and a little bit backwards. So remember, we're finding that opening and that release into the front of the hip, maybe a little bit down the front of the thigh. And now come just a little bit forward and stay there. Let your left hand come down, and we're going to inhale, lift up, and exhale, release down. And again, breathing in, reach up, and exhale, softly down. We're going to do two more. Move with your breath. One more time. Now bring that hand up and stay here just for a moment. If it feels good for you, start looking up, lift up through your heart, and you might even go into a little bit of a back bend. Make sure you can breathe and that your lower back feels good. And then release. And you're going to bring your hands down on either side of that foot. Now you're going to have to toe heel your foot, so it's towards the center of the mat now. Bring your hands in line with your heels on your fingertips, long spine. And now we start moving forwards and backwards to start to get that hamstring release. That's it. You can widen your stance if you need. You don't have to straighten that front leg. As long as you're feeling a stretch, then that's the most important thing. Now, sit back a little bit and hold it there. Shoulders away from the ears, heart is lifted, the belly is firm. You're going to lift the front toes up and then go into your internal, external hip rotation. So remember, guys, this is the hamstring glide. We actually haven't done this one for a while, but it makes such a huge difference to hamstring flexibility and strength. So in fascial terms, we're training the elasticity. Taking a few more. Bring your foot to the center, placing your toes down, walking your hands forward. Now you can go onto your fingertips still, but tuck the back toes under. And now let's see if we can pick up that back leg. And then release it down. So when you do that movement, can you feel that you've got to really root into the front foot and you've got to connect your abdominals? And let's take two more. Energy through your crown. And we're going to take one more time. Press, now stay here. Put your hands flat and see if you can step back into a plank position. And now we're just going to hold it here. Now remember that you want to engage your bum cheeks, but don't grip. You want the abdominals connected, energy through your crown, energy through your heels, push out of the arms. This is a strong position. And then bring the right knee in, bring the left knee in, and you pause here just for a moment. Now, left leg extends back. We're going to do the other side. Bring the leg up, level out your shoulders, level out your hips, right guy? And round your spine, lifting the belly. And lengthen away. Reach through your crown, reach through your toes, and again. So remember, it's not about the end position. It's about the journey in between. Taking two more. One more time. Stretch back now, hold it here for a moment. Step your foot to the outside of your left hand. And now bring your hand up onto the knee. Bring yourself upright. Take a moment to just find your balance. And then just let your body weight come a little bit forward and a little bit backwards. So the abdominal muscles are connected. Guys, there should be no strain or pain around the lower back or the sacroiliac joint. So make any adjustments you need. And now come a little bit forward and stay here. Your right hand comes down. And now breathing in. And breathing out. And again, inhale, reach up. And exhale. We're going to do two more. Getting that opening and release along the front of the hip. One more time. Reach up now, stay here. If it's available to you, look up, lift your heart, and maybe come into a very gentle extension of the spine. But when I do this, I think more about opening the chest as opposed to leaning backwards. And then breathing, releasing, placing your fingertips down. You're going to walk your foot to the center of your mat. And then fingertips in line with your heel, long spine, and we start to shift our body weight forwards and backwards. If you need to widen your stance, do so. Getting that release along the back of the leg. And one more time. Stay here. Lift your toes up, level out the shoulders and the hips, and then do a gentle inward, outward rotation from the hip. Finding that hamstring glide. Remember to try and keep your shoulders and pelvis as still as possible. And then center yourself, bring the toes down, and then walk your fingertips forward. Tuck your back toes under, and on your breath, lift up the back knee. And release. And again, as you pick up the back leg, you need to really root into that front foot. Abdominals connecting, release. One more time. Lift up, now stay here. Place your hands flat and then step your leg back and coming into your plank position, your front support basic. Energy through your crown, roll the shoulders gently back, connecting into the thumb and the index finger. Energy through the heels of your feet. And then bring your left knee in, bring your right knee in, open your knees, big toes touch, sit back, and let's just come into a resting position for a moment. So just letting your head settle down, bend your elbows, and just allow your neck and your shoulders to relax as much as possible. Stay with your breath. And now on your next breath, just walk your hands out, spread your fingers, and draw yourself up once again onto all fours. So we're going to check out our downward facing dog again, and let's see if things are starting to release now that we've done our hamstring glide and that hip opener. Tuck your toes, and then hover your knees, move your hips back and up, and then once again, pedal through the heels, rolling the shoulders away, and then reach both your heels towards the mat, and then stay there for a moment and just observe, does this feel any different from before? And now I just want you to pick up your right leg and just bring it up to about the height of your hip so that your pelvis is level, your shoulders are level. We're just going to stay here, and I want you to rise onto the ball of the foot, and then I want you to push the heel down towards the mat again. And again, rising up. So you're lifting the left heel up, and then sending the left heel down. We're going to do one more time. Lift, and lower. Now point the right toes and then step forward between your hands. Go onto the tips of the fingers, bend the back leg, and just push up and step all the way forward. Just hang there for a moment. Shake your head, no, 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 no. Nod your head, yes, 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 yes. Take a breath in. And then bend your knees and start rolling yourself all the way up into standing. Take a moment, roll your shoulders back and around. And then I'm just going to turn to face you. You guys can stay as you are. I want you to pick up your right arm and let it rest on top of your head. Soften your knees, and let's start that gentle trampolining of your hip, gently pushing to the side. So we're going to start to open those lateral lines. And remember, you can straighten your legs if you like. You can make it smaller if you need. And then when you're ready, start to add that lateral flexion of the spine as well. And notice immediately how the movement slows down as it becomes bigger. So you don't have to rush. Connect to your breath. And then if it feels good for you, add the tensioning of the top arm, stretching out. We're going to take just a few more. And then coming all the way up and letting your arms settle. Bringing the left arm, resting it on top of your head. And we start taking the hip gently to the side. And remember, guys, you might have very different flexibility between the two sides. So just observe and let your body move naturally without forcing it. You might feel that it actually starts to release as you move anyway. And then you can start to add that lateral flexion of the spine. And let's just take a few more. And then if it feels good for you, add that tensioning of the arm, reaching overhead. So don't rush the movement. You can go slower than me. You can go faster than me. This is our last one. And coming all the way up to standing and just pausing here for a moment. Roll the shoulders back and around. I'm just going to come to the front of my mat again. And then reaching both arms all the way up. Connect the tips of the fingers to their partners. Open your arms, nod your chin, and just let yourself fold over. Feel the weight of your crown, feel the weight of your arms. Just coming all the way down, and then again, just hang here for a moment. Shake your head, no, 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 no. Nod your head, yes, 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 yes. And then bend your knees enough that you can put your hands flat to the ground here. And we're going to take a big step back with the right leg. Pushing into the hands, take a big step back with the left leg. And you should pretty much be in a plank position here. So again, just holding it for a moment, energy through your crown. Let your knees come to the mat. Release your feet back. Round your spine and start to push back, but don't let your hands move. Stay here and let's do some gentle trampolining. Abdominals connected. This should feel good on your body. Don't force it where it doesn't want to go. One more time. And now start to come forward. Stay rounded as long as you can, but you're going to reach a point where your pelvis pushes through. Tighten up your bum, tighten up your abs, lift your heart, lift your eye line, and now tuck your chin in and round back again. Tuck your toes, lift your hips and knees, and then coming into your downward facing dog. Make any adjustments that you need to your position. You can pedal the heels, and then just stay there for a moment. And just notice the shift that is starting to take place. Keep breathing. Now, pick up your left leg just to the height of your hip. Stay here and level out your pelvis and shoulders. Rise onto the ball of the foot, the right foot, and then press the heel down. And again, lifting up and lower. We're going to do one more time. Lift up and lower. Now point the left foot, bring the knee in and step through between your hands. Help yourself if you need to. Go up onto the tips of the fingers and then press off that foot and step all the way forward. And again, just relax your body. Let yourself hang there for a second. Soften your knees if you need to. Shake your head no. Nod your head yes. And then bend your knees and start rolling all the way up. Coming all the way upright. Just take a moment to focus your gaze and once again roll the shoulders back and around. I'm going to turn so that you guys can see me. And now this time, bring both arms up overhead. So you want to be able to interlock the hands and then just release the index finger. Bend the elbows slightly so you're framing your head without tensing the neck and shoulders. And then bend the knees slightly. Start to do a little bit of a tick-tock from side to side. So this is a little bit of a progression from the fascial release we did on the last set with that little bit of trampolining. So connect your movement into your breath and then start to explore your range. You don't have to go as big as I am. You can go bigger if you want. And we're going to do just one more time. Come back to the center. Release your hands and reach up. And then opening your arms nice and wide. Just opening up across the chest. We're standing still at the front of our mats. And now let's go into our second flow. We're going to inhale, reach up. Touch the tips of the fingers. Open your arms. Nod your chin. And just feel that articulation of your spine as you roll forward. Stay centered on your feet. Rounding all the way over and then just relax there for a moment. Now bend your knees enough that you can put your hands flat. And this time you're going to step the right leg back. Push into your hands, step the left leg back. And you hold your front support basic. Roll the shoulders back, connect your thumb and your index finger firmly to the ground. Energy through your heels, energy through your crown. Let your knees hinge to the floor. Release your toes. Round your spine and start moving back. And stay here, let's do some gentle trampolining. Two more. One more. Start rolling forward. Stay round as long as you can. And then when you need to, squeeze your bum cheeks. Open the front of the hips. Lift up through your heart and chest. And your gaze comes forward. Keep pushing out of your arms. Tuck your chin in. Round yourself back. Tuck your toes under. And then lift up and return to your down dog. So again, make any adjustments you need. And then this is an opportunity for us to just kind of reassess and notice what's happening as we move. So pause here for a moment. Notice your physical body and have things started to release and shift maybe, maybe not. Notice your energy, how you feel. And then just allow your knees to come all the way down. Release your feet back. You're going to move your hips to your right. So I'm going to do a mirror image for you. You're going to move your hips to your right. And you're just going to sit with the ankles close to each other, holding onto your left ankle with your left hand, sweeping that right arm up, coming into a little bit of a stretch. Now stay here. And turn your head to look down. Stay there. Take that top hand, your right hand, and now place it into your lower back. So with your head rotated away, and your hand in your lower back, you're probably going to feel quite a strong release along the neck and the shoulder. And then take your hand out again, bring your arm up and over, bring your head to the front, coming all the way up, placing that right hand just a little bit behind you on the ground. Now your left hand holds that right knee. Sit up tall and come into an open twist. Use your arms to help you, and this is also where the breathing is so important. Last one, and release. Swing your feet up and over. Get yourself in a comfortable position, especially for your knees, holding onto the right ankle, left arm, up and over. Turn your head to look down. You can stay here, or taking your left hand and placing it into your lower back. Make sure that you can breathe, right guys? This is a good general rule. If you can't breathe, you've gone too far. Just a few more seconds. Bring your gaze to the front, releasing your arm all the way up, and come upright. Now putting your hand to the floor, bringing your right hand to the opposite knee, sit up and into an open twist. So there was that class that we did where we focused on all of these twists. It's so good for the spine, provided that you don't force it, and so good for that internal circulation, digestion. And take a breath, release, and coming all the way back to the front. So now we're just going to sit. I'm going to spin my feet around the other side because there's a little slope on the lawn here. So you're going to have your knees bent, put your hands around the front of your knees, let your hands help you as you sit up nice and tall, and then curl your tail under, and as you roll back, if you can, let your elbows straighten, and you should almost feel like you're hanging off your knees a little bit. And then bend your elbows, pull, and lift up nice and tall. And again, using your exhale, rolling back, abdominals connected. Bend your elbows, pull, and sit up tall. We're going to add on this next one. Curl back, stay for a moment, bend your elbows, and this time, sit up straight, and then almost arch your spine and lean back a little bit. So your chest is lifted, you're extending your spine, pull with your arms as you come back, and then round your spine. So that should feel like quite a nice stretch after that extension we just did. Bend your elbows, pull. First, we just sit up tall, and then just lean back a little bit so that you can actually lift up through the chest. Use your arms to help you, but you're probably going to feel the back working quite hard. Release and round your spine. Stay here just for a moment, and then slide your hands down the outsides of your legs and let yourself lie all the way flat to the ground. So either bring your pelvis closer to your feet or your feet closer to your pelvis, arms down beside you. And today, we're not going to curl up, we're going to do the pelvic curl that we've been practicing. So on your next breath, press into your feet as you hinge the hips up. And immediately it should switch on gluteus maximus and the hamstrings at the back of the legs, nothing in the lower back. And then hinge down again. So it's a really lovely way to connect the core. Let's go again. Press up. Feel the feet rooting. Take a breath in. And then hinge down. And again, press up. And release down. Now on this next one, we're going to stay up there. Press up and hold it there. So you're welcome to bend your elbows, because remember guys, that helps you switch on your lats. So if you want to try that, or keep the hands down, start to stand on the right foot, keep your pelvis level, and can you pick up your left leg and hold it there? Now you can stay there, or you can let your hips come a little bit down and then press up. And a little bit down, press up, and a little bit down. Can you feel the right gluteal switching on? Last one, press up, hold it, and placing the left foot flat. So now, stand on the left foot, see if you can keep your pelvis level, and pick up the right leg and hold it there. Now again, you can stay there, or a little bit down, and press up. So this is a really, really good way for you to check out what's happening with the two sides. One side might be weaker or stronger than the other. And we're going to take two more. One more. Press up, hold it. Place the foot down. Now send both hands straight up and roll down through your spine. And release. Now, interlock your hands, placing your hands underneath your head. Just relax there for a moment and walk your knees and your feet together. Pick up your right leg and cross the right thigh over the left thigh. So you're going to keep your pelvis and your legs stable. Hover your elbows and now nod your chin. And on your breath, slide your ribs towards your pelvis. Get that flattening sensation through the belly. And then releasing all the way down. And again, breathing out. And release. So guys, remember that there's no pulling on the head, right? The elbows are hovering. And it might feel like quite a bit of a challenge with your right leg crossed over, because what you're doing is shortening the one hip flexor. So you're going to have to work quite a bit harder to keep your pelvis stable, right? Let's take two more. And last one. Stay here. Release your hands. Hug your knees up into your chest, and then lower your head and shoulders down. So you've still got your right thigh on top. And then if you're able to, slide your hands a little bit lower down towards the ankles and the feet, so that you get a nice stretch and release into the deep right bum cheek. It's that piriformis muscle that actually affects that sciatic nerve, yeah? Make sure that you can breathe. Head and shoulders nice and easy. Taking just a few more seconds. And then release, uncross, and hug both knees in towards your chest for a moment. So now, putting your right foot down, cross your left thigh over, interlock your hands behind your head. Take a moment to find stability through your pelvis, and up we come. So as we do this movement, this is the upper attachments of the abdominals that need to work. So initiate the movement with your ribs sliding forward, and then basically your head and your shoulders and your arms are along for the ride. Remember that flattening sensation of the abdominals, so we get the deep core connection. Last one. Stay lifted. Bring your knees up, holding onto your knees, and then lower your head and shoulders all the way down. And then slide your hands into a position so that you can find a stretch now on that left piriformis, that left deep bum muscle. And again, how does it feel on this side in comparison to the first side? Staying for just a few more moments. Head and shoulders as easy as possible. And then on your next breath, release, uncross your legs and hug them all the way in. Slip your hands just behind your thighs and let's practice our slow roll up. So moving your legs away from you, find a little bit of tension between your hands and your legs. Round your spine forward and then pour your body weight into your feet. So it's a very gentle, soft movement. Head to your knees, and then let's roll back. Hug your knees in. And we're going to do 2 more. Go at your own pace, just really feeling that there's no jarring movement on your spine. It should feel very soft and controlled. And then pour your body weight back towards your ribs, your shoulders, your head. One last time. Coming forward. And then lifting all the way up and tall. And from here, I'm just going to turn on a little bit of an angle. You're just going to slide one leg out, and we're going to come into a straddle sit. Other leg out. If you feel that you need to sit up on top of a towel or a block, pull the flesh of your bum out, and then place your fingertips behind your back, elbows bent, so you can really find length and space through the spine. And then you're going to curl your toes backwards towards you, pushing energy out through the heels, and then point your toes away like a ballerina and stretch. And again, flexing through the ankles and through the feet. And then pointing your toes away, stretch. And we're going to do 2 more. So you should be getting a little bit of a stretch through the inner thighs, maybe into the hamstrings and the calf muscles if you're tight. 1 more time. And point. And now just put your feet in the middle so you're not flexing or pointing too hard. And see if you can bring your hands around to the front. So you might have released a little bit at this point, and then you can start to walk forward as far as your body allows. Guys, remember, it's not the collapsing of the spine. It is a lengthening to create space. So you're really sort of folding forward from the hip joint. And we're going to take 3 more breaths in and out here. Energy through your crown, shoulder blades gliding down your back, heart open and lifted. And then walking your hands back. Place your hands behind your knees to help yourself and bringing the legs all the way in together. So come once again into a seated position. However feels best for you, just like we started. And letting your hands settle lightly onto your knees. Just making any adjustments to your position that you feel that you need so that you are at ease through the hips, the knees, the spine. And then allow your eyes to close or just soften your gaze if that feels better for you. And once again, bringing your breath in and out through your nose and allowing each inhale and exhale to slow down slightly. If you bring yourself back to all the different breathing techniques we've learned over the last few weeks, if you notice that your mind wanders easily or you get distracted, then perhaps try the counting from 1 to 10, just to see if it helps you focus your mind slightly. Notice your breath traveling down the back of your throat, across your heart, allowing your belly to softly respond. Taking a scan through your body from head to toe. If you notice any areas holding tension, just stay there for a moment and allowing each breath to soften and release. Staying connected to your breath. Pause for a moment and just observe your energy. How do you feel after moving, breathing, observing yourself? Taking just one more deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh, and let it all go. Blinking your eyes open. Taking your hands, reaching them just beside you with your palms facing upwards. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Clearing a little bit of space for yourself for the rest of your day. Reaching up. Connecting each fingertip to its partner. Open your arms wide. Rolling your shoulders back and around. Beautiful, guys. Let me just come and have a chat with you, see how everybody's feeling. I might actually just bring you into the shade. Very unnerving having Sam and Brian sitting in the background. How's everyone doing?
It's great, thank you.
All right.
Feel
Wonderful. Fantastic. I'm so glad you all had a chance to join today. So I'm going to be taking the weekend off. Well, not really, I'm teaching anatomy, but I'm not going to be teaching any Pilates flow. And then I'm going to start up again on Monday. So I'll send you guys all the invitation and hopefully we're able to connect then.
Lovely. We'll see you Monday.
Fantastic.